What's up, y'all? Shoe Booty Sports coming at you again Tuesday night, regular time, January 17th. I'm your host, Graham Powell, co host Bradley Brown. Say hello, Brad.
What's happening?
I'll adjust my screen here for those of you watching on Spotify and YouTube. This is Shoe Booty Sports. Quick shout out to our sponsor. Shoe Booty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the Rhino Ultra. How it works is sign up for one or all five of their races there at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience, track it with your fitness app, screenshot your results as proof of completion, submit those results there on the website at rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail, free shipping on all orders. Also, check out their gear section for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. Again, rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races, the premier virtual running series. Okay, so some sports happened over the weekend, is my understanding.
I
Some
think you're right.
some NFL football. I missed probably the most exciting game. The Jags and Jags and Chargers drew a blank there for a sec. Uh, but yeah, it's wow. I did see most of the 49ers game. It was a close game when I was watching, and then I hop in the shower and then I get out and the game's essentially over. It was a very close game. I get out of the shower and it's all of a sudden like 41-13 or whatever it was. And then I just go out, have a Saturday night away from the TV. And I just like, oh yeah, I wonder what the score was. And then I was like, oh wow, 31-30. Of course, I missed the best game. And of course, it being an epic game. And shout out to Trevor Lawrence for the GOAT move of going to Waffle House after a historic comeback win in the playoffs, getting his first playoff win. Year two at the Jags, man. I thought this team had overachieved, and they're still overachieving. They're clearly better than they were a year ago, but yeah, to get a playoff win this year, nobody would have seen that coming, right? After the what we saw from them last year.
Now, would they win 4 games last season?
I believe so, if that.
Yeah.
Made a lot of moves though, and they got a bunch of like guys that are like, not superstars, but like good players. Like one got a Evan Ingram, a Christian Kirk, Zay Jones. I think he was a new addition. Defense looks solid at times. Especially the front seven, front four at least. But yeah, it's I kind of regret not seeing that one. I enjoy the night I had away from the TV. Not going to take that away, but I'll get to see the Jags play next week. Jags moving on. Um, Bengals moving on, beating the Ravens. That was a bet. That game was about like I thought it would be,
Yeah.
almost to a T. Uh, Bengals squeak one out. They're pretty banged up on the offensive line. That's going to be an interesting game to pick. Bills and Bengals. We're going to get to see the game that we wanted to see, several, I guess what it was, 2, 3 weeks ago now.
Yeah, about 3 weeks.
Yeah, gosh, it doesn't feel like it's been that long ago. But yeah, we're going to get to see that matchup. Okay, is it the Chiefs and Jags? Yeah,
Uh,
I believe it's the
yeah, I
Chiefs
think
and
so.
Jags. That's who it has to be. There's only 4 teams in the AFC. Okay, so all right, the Giants and Vikings game. That was the most Kirk Cousins ending to a playoff to a season as you can have. And it wasn't Kirk Cousins' fault why they lost that game. For the most part, I mean, he played pretty well. I just don't like a 4th and 8 and let's throw a 3 yard out to the tight end. You throw the ball past the sticks. It makes sense to me. But Cowboys game, that was pretty wild, just the kicking woes. Uh yeah, the game, I'm not surprised how the game went. You picked the Bucks, didn't you?
It was my only wrong pick of the weekend. So
Let's see. I whiffed on the Vikings, but I admittedly was like, I don't feel good about this pick. I picked the Vikings and I picked the Chargers to win it. So I took two L's on that one, both very close games. I'm not disappointed at all that I was wrong on the Jags because I want to see them keep playing. That's a fun team to check out. But yeah, I did not. This Bucks team was not a good team. I, I
No,
I felt as good about that, despite how bad the Cowboys looked in the regular season. I felt probably the best about. No, I felt the best about the Bengals pick, but that was my most confident pick. But right behind that, it was Dallas because this was not a good Tampa Bay team. Brady threw it 66 times. You're asking a 45-year-old to throw it 66 times.
yeah. Say about half of them weren't even close.
Yeah, and he only completed about half his passes. You know, it was in the 30s. I mean, I wouldn't say he played poorly, but it was just I mean, it's not the Brady we're accustomed to seeing. And then
No,
Mike Evans, him and those two just have not been on the same page. Definitely weren't. We're not
dude,
last night.
they're in a different book. Yeah, they weren't even on the same page.
Yes, completely different book, completely a section in the library, maybe different store. It just
Yeah,
was nothing was working, and Dak was on fire. I mean, Dak lit them up.
yeah. For as bad as the Bucks looked, Cowboys looked that good. I was surprised at how good they actually looked, but then again, the Bucks were terrible.
But we've
So
seen this from Dallas. We've seen them look like the best team in the league at times. I mean, like legitimate contenders, like the Colts game, where they just essentially just mercy ruled the Colts. I mean, embarrassed them on was it Sunday Night Football? It was a primetime game and just embarrassed them. Now, granted, the Colts aren't very good, but still, I mean, Dallas looked as about as good as anybody. It was like, okay, I'm not so certain the Eagles are that much better. At least watching them in that game. And Diggs, I mean, Dallas has players. I mean, they got some players. They just don't put it together consistently. Dak,
yeah,
especially. But it's Mike McCarthy has to feel good, right? Like getting a playoff win. Aaron
yeah. The
Rodgers is
first,
sitting at home. I mean, it's that had to
yeah,
feel. I'm that had to feel good to him. He would never like admit it publicly, but that had to feel good to him. I saw something about Rodgers mulling over his future today. Gosh, I mean, I don't know that I could walk away from $50 million, over the
is that
next
what's on the
year.
table
At least I think it's like 50. I think it's more than that. 52 to 54,
to
something
come back
along
to
those
Green
lines.
Bay?
I, I mean, for that amount of money, I would. It's they started to get it together there at the end of the season. I didn't think they would win anything, but I mean, they started to get it together. That Lions game isn't a gimme for anyone. The Lions could have easily squeaked their way in the playoffs.
Yeah,
But yeah, it says he's mulling over future with Packers or elsewhere. It does say that. So, I mean, who knows what we'll see there. Brady's the one that I'm thinking about as far as elsewhere. Okay, first of all, did you see the last 30 seconds or so of Brady's press conference basically thanking all the reporters and all of that stuff?
yeah,
Just it was a very farewell um, you know, into a press conference. And that could mean a couple of things. That could mean I don't know, means I'm done. I don't think he thinks for certain he's done. He's already said like I'm really going to
yeah,
think about it. Um, but it could very well mean, and this is what I think will happen. I think he keeps playing. I think he plays somewhere else next year. I don't think he's in Tampa Bay next year.
yeah.
There's
I'm in that boat. Yeah,
there's at least three teams they said last night. Joe Buck did that are going to be interested in reaching out to him. Possibly, gosh, I mean, I
like
don't know who this.
Miami, New York, and who else?
It's got to be Vegas, right? I mean,
Yeah,
Derek Carr's gone, but two of those teams are better than the Bucks are right now. Vegas is, I think Vegas is better than that Tampa Bay team right now. Throwing to Devontae Adams, and here's what would attract Brady to that. What did Tampa Bay? Tampa Bay didn't have a running game. Brady threw it 66 times last night. The guy needs a running game. It's like LeBron when he went to Miami. Like LeBron went to Miami to take some of the load off of him, right? Because he had carried it for so long in Cleveland. And what happened? He ended up still carrying the load because D Wade couldn't stay healthy, and just so on and so on. Like Brady wants to go somewhere where it's going to be easier. Now, when he first got to Tampa Bay, he had lots of weapons, right? And a stout defense. Just not the same team. And you see that with NFL teams. I mean, look at the Rams this year compared to last year. I mean, just you're going to get that with Super Bowl teams. It's hard to keep all those guys. Like those guys want to get paid. Like this is my short window to do this. I want to get my money, and my stock's not going to be higher than it is right now. So a lot of those guys are going to want to go get their money. I get it. Makes sense. They're not all Tom Brady at quarterback going to play 300 years in the NFL or whatever it's been. What, 20, whatever, 20 something years?
A long ass
22?
time.
Yeah, I think he plays elsewhere. Uh, Vegas would be attractive. Two reasons. Devontae Adams, of course. The other, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, fixate Jacob.
You're going to have a run game. You're going to have a run game. Miami, how could you not be attracted by throwing a Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle? I mean, that's the best receiver combo in the league. And I don't know that it's that close. You know, like since he's got Jamar Chase and T Higgins, Boyd's a good third option, but Waddle and Hill are number ones on any team.
Yeah.
Like you have two legit number ones that you're throwing to, and both can fly. Obviously Tyreek Hill, probably the fastest guy in the league. So those would be the ones that those are the prime spots to me. Who is it? The Jets. I mean, the Jets have a
Jets.
really good defense. I mean, the Jets are a good team. They just didn't have a
Yep.
quarterback. But I don't know that he wants to.
I wouldn't go to New York,
I would
but
not. I feel like the Jets would find a way to screw that up. I just feel like they would. Although I would be intrigued to see it just because of what Zach Wilson said about going to make whoever they bring in's life a living hell or whatever he said regarding another quarterback. I would love to see him try to do that to Tom Brady. That would not go over very well for Zach Wilson. If he's even in the league this time next year, he'll be in the league, I'm sure, but he won't be starting anywhere. That's for sure. That would be the only reason I would want to see him go to the Jets. Okay, but all right, other storylines that stood out to you from wild card weekend. Those are the ones that really stood out to me. Um, Buffalo, squeaking it out. Do you feel really good if you're Buffalo? Do you even feel that great if you're Cincinnati? I think that's a little bit of that question's been tossed out there. I think that's a little overblown because it's a division rival. Baltimore, I mean, Baltimore is a tough team. They're going to play
yeah.
gritty. They're going to play hard. They're going to play tough. They're going to it's not going to be pretty when you play Baltimore. It never has been. It's never easy to go play Baltimore, no matter where it is, even at home. So I think that's a little blown up there. Although, but Baltimore didn't have Lamar, so
Speaking of, where's Lamar going next season?
I think he stays in Baltimore. Obviously, who knows, right? Except Lamar and
Yeah.
management.
Seen somebody Photoshop him in a Washington Commanders jacket today and posted it. And I was like, that's surely that's fake. It's got to be fake.
Yeah, I
But
don't think. I don't think. Well, if Dan Snyder's still the owner by then, I don't know that he's going to want to pay that kind of money. I mean, Washington's a decent team. It'd be interesting, I guess. Lamar and Terry was it McLaurin? However you say his last name.
yeah,
He's a really good player. I mean, Washington has some good pieces, but no, I think he stays in Baltimore. I think
Yeah, me too.
they're probably going to franchise him, man, and they'll have to pay him what 40 something mil.
Something
I know
like that. Pay him a lot of money. Of course, he's worth it. I mean, he's won you a lot of games. So
he
and
has
if you would have had him, who knows? You probably would have pulled it out the other night. So,
very
and
well
that's
could
admission from
have.
his own player, right? Didn't Dobbins say that in the locker room after the game to reporters or something?
I don't know. I didn't pay much attention to the post game stuff. I saw that. Okay, what did you think of Lamar? Essentially, kind of being like, "I'm not 100%, so I'm not going to play." He didn't say it so that bluntly. But that was a
He
essentially the
didn't even
message.
he didn't even travel. Like
It
he
is.
stayed home.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't know if there's a really, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's a message to the franchise or what. Uh, yeah, I saw a couple of takes. I saw something about Mike Vick saying something along the lines of you can put a brace on it, you need to be out there and playing. And I saw RG3's take, which I thought was, which I don't like a lot of his takes. I mean,
Yeah.
RG3's a, he's a good dude and all that, but I don't agree with a lot of the things that he says. But I had thought he had a really good take on it as far as like he posted a picture of himself in that knee brace, that massive knee brace with his knee essentially just blowing out on that one play and saying, "Yeah, this right here, I suited up or I put a brace on it, to be with my so I could be there with my teammates and brothers and all that stuff and change the trajectory of my career," which he completely did. He shouldn't have been out there. He should not have been out there that game. And yeah, and that sucked. Like that was not I remember seeing that. That was not fun to see. It was like that was tough to watch. Because you knew he wasn't right, and then he just goes
Hmm.
out there and then just gets it obliterated. And
Yeah.
like it was an interesting take. He was like, "Yeah, hindsight's 2020, but it's the right move by Lamar. Maybe it is, man. I don't know, but
How much was he getting paid at that time? Do you know? I mean, it wasn't a massive deal,
I
right?
don't. No, it was like a rookie deal, wasn't it? Wasn't he on a
Yeah.
rookie deal?
Yeah. Still,
Yeah.
should never. Yeah. They ain't paying you that much. You know, don't put your leg on the line.
Like
So you already know you're not supposed to be out there.
you don't give up that many first rounders and picks to draft a guy number 2 overall to put him out there in that situation. You just yeah, I mean you just got to roll with your backup that year and just get him, not put him out there until he's right. Now would RG3 like still be in the league, and all that if that wouldn't have happened to him? Probably not. I mean, but who knows, right? I don't know. But it was yeah, I thought it was a good take, or I thought it was an interesting take because I could see why people would say, "Yeah, I mean, if you can be out there throwing, go out there and play." Like we saw Donovan McNabb. Well, didn't he win a playoff game on a torn ACL?
Yeah.
Terrell Owens in the Super Bowl. That might be the most gutsy play with an injury I've ever seen. I mean, went out there with a broken foot, broken leg, whatever it was, and gets like a buck 20 and on 7 catches and like 2 touchdowns or whatever it was. And that was amazing. He was about the only offensive player that played well for the Eagles that day. So I get it, but at the same time, I get the take of yeah, so do what's best for you and your career. I mean, because he could have gone out there and made it worse, and then what, right? Because who really wants to? And I'll throw myself in here. Like, how much do you want to pay a quarterback that plays that style? Because you're not going to have a Tom Brady career. You're not going to have a 20-year career playing that way. Running backs don't last as long as quarterbacks for a reason. And if you're going
Yep.
to take those hits, and Lamar's smart about how, I mean, he's smart about getting down, and he always seems to fall the right way, even when he's like taking contact. That's one thing that really impresses me about him. It doesn't, you don't ever see him take like a big shot. It's always, he gets out of the way just enough before he goes down. And, but you're still going to get caught. You're still going to take hits. And yeah, he's probably going to have, I mean, gosh, if you're Lamar, you got to be just hoping for like a 10-year career, right? I don't just if you're going to continue to play that way, or you're going to have to change your game. You're going to have to go MJ and go from a guy that drives to the bucket and dunks on everybody to an elite, shooter. Like you're just going to have to rely on your passing game more and more the older you get. I hope Lamar plays for a long time. He's a very exciting player to watch. I love watching him play, but it'll probably be in Baltimore next year. I think. I would think so. That was a 10-win team, and he hadn't played in a while. So, and they were right there with the Bengals, really till the end.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, Huntley looked pretty good. I was surprised at how well he looked. But
not
so
early. He
how many?
didn't.
Yeah,
He
he
did
looked
not
better than
look.
he had been in the regular season.
Yeah, he did
But
not look good
other
early.
than giving all Hogs fan flashbacks of the Texas A&M game with the fumble on the freaking goal line and having it returned 98 yards for a touchdown, that sucked. But
Yeah, Hog fans could relate to that one, and of course, Twitter and my Facebook blew up with all those comparisons. That was wild. Yeah, that was. I mean, I was like, had my mouth open on that play. I was like, oh,
yeah,
so that just happened. All right, so yeah, I see Lamar coming back there. Um, gonna get franchise. I think he'll get his money. I just don't know that he's gonna get a guaranteed contract like he's wanting. I mean, Deshaun Watson, of course, got that, and he runs. He can run as a quarterback, but Deshaun's a better passer. He's a better overall passer than Lamar is. At least
it's all
from
them
what we
massages.
from what yeah, I guess so. From what we've seen, right?
Yeah,
Um, not necessarily this past year, although he started to get it together, at the
yeah,
end of the season. So, and heck, when you only play, 6 games or whatever it was, and you hadn't played really in like 3 years. That's the result you're gonna get.
yeah. Gonna be a little bit of rust.
Yeah, but he started to get it together there at the end. That's just what it comes down to. What do you want to pay a guy that plays that style? And I thought the Ravens offer was fair, but at the same time, I can get where Lamar's coming from too. Like you're going to pay that guy, this kind of money, and I'm an MVP. Like Deshaun Watson's never been an MVP, so I get it, but yeah, it's another reason to not like that contract, not like the Browns for giving that contract because now everybody wants that. Kyler wanted that, and you knew that was going to happen. It was a snowball from there. All right, picks. Let's do some picks. Okay, okay. So Chiefs and Jags, right? I'm pulling up the bracket here just in case. Pulling it up on the phone here. All right, sure. Okay, divisional round, yeah, and that's a Saturday afternoon game. Jags at Chiefs. We're both going Chiefs, right?
Yeah, yeah,
All right, Chiefs there. Okay, Eagles and Giants. I think this is going to be closer than people think. Danny Dimes looks really good.
yeah.
He looked
So did
really
Barkley,
good.
man.
Well, he always looks good when he's healthy.
Well, yeah, yeah, when he's healthy.
That's nothing new there. But yeah, Danny Dimes played very well. Um, and the Eagles, this would be a no brainer for me if the Eagles haven't dropped off some.
Yeah,
Like I would not be surprised if the Giants won. Like I would not be shocked if they won Saturday. That's the Saturday night game. It's of course at Philly. I'm still going to go with the Eagles though.
yeah,
That bye week, I think is gonna. do them wonders. If anybody could have used a bye week, it's them. So I'm gonna go Eagles in that. Sounds like you are too.
Yeah, I'll go with the Eagles on that one.
Okay, and the Sunday games. All right, Sunday. Cowboys at 49ers. Does the Brock
Ooh.
Purdy party continue?
I say no. I'm going to roll with the Cowboys. Why not? They
Wow.
they broke the streak. Yeah, I know.
I
I'm going to roll with
mean,
the Cowboys, man.
I guess I wouldn't be shocked, right? Um, but I think the 49ers are. Oh God, yeah. I'm gonna go with the 49ers. 49ers could win it. I mean, they
Yeah, they
they
could.
could
They
they could
could.
very well win it all. Um, top to bottom, they may have the best roster, and they've won what 11 in a row now. I think it is. I believe it's 11 in
Dang.
a row, counting last week's win over the Seahawks. I'll go 49ers. That'd be something if the Cowboys pulled that off though. First time these two have met in the playoffs had to be since like the Aikman Young years, right? It's got to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Now those two guys aren't Aikman or Young, but it should be a good game nonetheless. It should be fun to watch. But the game I'm most intrigued by, Bengals Bills, and the one that like I feel pretty confident about those three other picks. This one's a little bit of a toss up almost
I think it's a
to me
complete
anyway.
toss up.
Yeah. I really and I was debating it in my head as I realized those two were playing each other. Like I immediately was just thinking, who do I give the edge here to? It's in Buffalo. All right, so advantage Bills there.
Yeah.
I don't know what the weather's going to be like, but
It's probably similar to, Cincinnati's not too warm, so I don't think there's any advantage there unless it's like 2 foot of snow.
well,
But
and here's the thing too. I think the well, and here and this will lead to my pick. But one, this Bengals team, I feel like you could say, let's go play on Mars, and the Bengals will be like, yeah, let's go. I mean, we'll throw down anywhere. We'll throw down in the parking lot. We'll throw down another planet. We'll throw down in your backyard. Doesn't matter to us. I feel like that's just this team. That's Joe
yep.
Burrow. That's the guys on that squad. I don't think it phases them. All right, I'm going to. But okay, here's the thing though. Bengals offensive line is banged up. I mean, it's not a healthy line right now. It's not a healthy unit up
That
front.
they had somebody go down over the weekend, right?
Lost their left tackle, starting left tackle. I believe it's Alex Kappa that went out. Yeah. I mean, the Bengals are beat up. So, hey, yeah, I don't know. I would say just based on the roster, the Bills have the better roster, top to bottom. But Josh Allen and they constantly overcome a Josh Allen like mistake, right?
Yep.
It's a Josh Allen errant throw for a pick. And a lot of time and sometimes in the red zone too, like at a crucial time. But then on the next possession, Josh Allen will chunk it 70 yards down the field for a touchdown. It's almost like they're good with that. Like we'll just make up for it the next throw. And a lot of times they do. I mean, he threw some just darts, in
Yeah.
that game, just some deep ball darts. He's despite his mistakes at times. I mean, he more than makes up for it. It's like you're gonna take. It's like Favre to a degree. Like you're gonna take the bad with the good because there's so much more good, right? But here's gonna be the decider for me, especially with it being in Buffalo. The Bengals can run the ball, even with that. Even with those two guys banged up front, they can still run it. Mixon can run it. So you can mix up a run game with a pass game. Bills still can't run it. You're not going to win a Super Bowl The only team that I can recall that won a Super Bowl by just flinging it every play was Aaron Rodgers the year they beat the Steelers. I mean, I don't know if how many times they ran the ball that game. I'd be interested to see that, but it was just Rodgers just chunking darts out there and just carving up the Steelers defense. But that was also in wherever they played, some warm spot, probably Arizona or something, on a mid afternoon or early evening game. Uh, I'm gonna go with the Bengals. You can probably see where I was going with that. I'm gonna go Cincinnati. Again, toss up. Wouldn't be surprised one way or the other. But I think because the Bengals can run it, they can run it consistently, unlike the Bills. I'm gonna go Cincinnati. Who you got and why?
I'm gonna go with the Bills just because they have Allen. So you say they can't run the ball, but he runs it pretty well whenever he decides to tuck the ball and run, and he can chuck it deep. That and paired with the injury on the Cincinnati offensive line, I'm just going to stick with Buffalo. But if Cincy does end up winning this game, they're my pick for the Super Bowl. So makes a lot of sense, but that's where I'm at. So
No,
I think
I
the
kind of
I think these are the two. I don't know. These would be my picks if they were in separate divisions to make it to the Super Bowl. But it is what it is.
so you would pick
I'm gonna pick
either
Buffalo.
either of those teams over the Chiefs.
Cincinnati, yes.
Yeah, Cincinnati has their number. Cincinnati has Casey's number. I don't
Buffalo, possibly. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know about an
Buffalo's due to
unhealthy
beat
Bengals, but
Buffalo's due to beat Casey. So, but yeah,
yeah, but
I would.
you could say that same thing about Kansas City being due to beat
Sure,
Cincinnati, especially since they're as banged up as they are. I don't
sure.
know. I don't have like a clear cut Super Bowl favorite. To me, I would take the 49ers coming out of the NFC. I don't know who I got in the AFC, man. It's definitely not the Jags. I like that team. I like where they're headed. They're not there yet, man. Um,
Not yet.
you got the Chiefs, you got the Bills, and you got last year's team that played in the Super Bowl pretty damn close.
Yep.
If they could have kept Burrow up one Mississippi longer, he would have dropped a deep ball to Chase on the last drive of the game to win it. Uh, I don't know, man. It's to me those three are a toss up. It could be either of those three. You told me either one of those three would win the Super Bowl this year, I would be like, yeah, I
Yeah.
believe it. Very believable. But I'll go with Cincinnati because of the run game. So yeah, there we go. We'll see what happens. That's the Sunday 2 p.m. game. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Uh, other news: Harbaugh staying at Michigan. I don't know how. Is he done doing this? Is he going to do this for
I
the
probably do it every
foreseeable
other year.
future?
Yeah.
Well, it's been every year for the last 2 years, but I don't mind him doing it. I don't mind him flirting with it. But I mean, that's not good for recruiting, right? It's not good for recruiting because it's like, is he even going to be there next year?
Yeah.
He's talking to Carolina about a job, so he doesn't want to be here that bad. Although I did see a very Jim Harbaugh video today where he's doing like the deadlift walk, in his like no, it was like normal walking down the sidewalk attire, like with some.
Khakis and
Yeah, I don't even know if it was khakis. I can't remember, but it was like a almost golf shirt or something. I don't know. It was. I'd have to go back and look, but and he's just doing that, just walking back and forth with that. I was thinking that's a very Jim Harbaugh like video. Like that doesn't surprise me at all. Like he's a little bit of a crazy person, maybe a lot of bit. He's very good at his job though, and so it's not knocking that at all. Just and I'm not even knocking the video. I'm just like that. That's just a very Jim Harbaugh video. Like, not surprised I saw that today. Jumping to sticking to NCAA football. What do you think about? Did you see the Razorback commits at wide receiver, the 6'7" guy? I don't know if any of these
Yeah,
guys can play, but I
they're
mean,
tall.
it's on paper. Yeah, on paper it looks good, right?
Yeah.
They found lightning in a bottle with Matt Landers, through the transfer portal when he couldn't, when he wasn't succeeding anywhere for whatever reason. Like, I saw him play this year. I'm like, how does that guy not starting somewhere for other teams? How did he? Of course, I said that about Drew Sanders too. Some guys just need a chance.
Yeah.
So, good. Yeah, good goop. Wow, good move by Pittman and the Hogs. Do we even want to talk about hog basketball right now?
No.
Yeah, we're just not even going to talk about it. I'll just say people said this isn't a top 25 team. That's not a tournament team. That's not just a that's not an
You can't.
NCAA tournament team. That's not even an NIT team as is.
Yeah, you can't shoot the ball. You ain't gonna win many games.
Yeah, if you can't put the round thing through the hoop, you're
Through
not
the
you're
other round thing. Yeah.
yeah, you're not going to win many games. I heard an old coach say, if you can't put the brown thing in the round thing, you're not going to be very good. But the ball's not really brown, so I feel a little funny saying that, but it rhymes and it sounds better when
Yeah.
you say that. So I get
At
it.
one point they were.
Fully healthy, they are, but that's just not a healthy team. But we're just going to leave it at
Oh, I thought you
that.
were talking about basketballs being brown. It's like,
Okay, we'll end on this though. Yeah, at one point they were basketballs being brown. They were brown like when we were in school, like
yeah,
in just PE and like middle school. Yeah, they were
yeah.
the oldest balls.
They
Like
were at least 15, yeah, 15
like
years old.
they belonged to Dr. James Naismith previously. I'm certain of that.
Yeah.
But okay, we will end on this. How about the Razorback women's team though, and that finish against Vanderbilt? Shout out to
That was
that
wild,
group.
dude.
Yeah, shout
Yeah.
out to that team. Balling out, winning games. So shout out Razorback women's basketball team. Very cool ending. I think it was number one on Sports Center top 10.
Yep.
So very cool there. Um, yeah. So
Yeah,
we're
they're showing out this season.
they are. Oh wow. Okay, well, Kansas State men beat Kansas 83
Yep.
82 in overtime. So that just popped up on my screen. So number two falls college basketball, y'all. But all right, we've run out of time, so we're gonna get out of here. But it's been a fun week. We'll be back next week with NFL playoff action results. Till then, see y'all. Deuces.
Yeah.